Today I'm going to do something a little different. I've kind of taken a break from the engine. I haven't gone any further with pulling the heads yet. I have an exhaust bolt that's giving me grief, so I am probably just going to cut it with a grinder. But I do have something fun and exciting coming for this that has to do with that. So when it gets here, I will be sure to let you all know about that. So in the meantime, I am going to work on the seal that goes around the windshield. As you can see over here, it is pulling up and away. This side isn't so bad. Passenger side, you can kind of see here that it's broke off and also just creating all sorts of mischief. So what I want to do today, since it's supposed to be 63, and as you can see from the trees and over there, that fall is here and it's supposed to be in the 40s this week. So I'm taking this warm day an opportunity to do this. So I'm going to remove the seal and then I'm going to tape off everything. And then I'm going to lay down a coat of primer. As you can see, the top's pretty down to the metal in places. Same thing on the other side on the door. So I want to tape all of that off after I pull the seal, sand it down, prime it, and then put the seal back in, so then that way at least I have a layer to protect it over the winter. Shouldn't be too horrible, because this side, whenever I started dinking around with it, basically you can almost pull it. This is how brittle it is. I do have the new seal in the house, so keep it warm so then that way I can put it back in pretty easily. Once again, you can see where I'm down past the primer and into the rust, or down to the metal. So get that primed up while I have a nice day that's not too horribly windy, and it's supposed to be 63, so the primer should dry pretty quick on it. So I guess I will get started with that. I'm still trying to locate the sandpaper and sanding block that I bought, because I bought it a while ago. Now I don't remember where I put it, but that's okay. So I'll go ahead and get started with pulling that, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I've started peeling this up. I'm using this style of pick, and what I'm doing is getting in the side here. I have it flat against here, getting into the side of it, and just prying up along the seal. I'm just doing small sections at a time. It's kind of hard to do when I'm trying to film it at the same time. So just working my way around the windshield, prying this up. Too high, come back down. Like I said, it's hard to do. I'm trying to do this and just keep working my way around. I'm making sure that I'm staying on the seal so that way I don't chip the edge of my windshield. And then what I'll do is I'll come back through and clean up all this excess stuff here that's come off of this. And then I'll wipe everything down, sand it, and then put a coat of primer around it. Alright, I did a quick sand on this, and now I'm taping up everything. So in the midst of me doing my sanding, the wind decided to kick up. I'm still gonna do this because, well, it needs to be done. I'm already into it and there's no backing out now. So I'll just have a bunch of overspray and, well, the truck needs painted anyway and it can't hurt it none, so we'll go from there. So I got one coat on. I used a self-etching, and then I'm gonna come back through with a primer and filler. Slightly challenging with the wind, I can say that much, and I think most of the paint went, or primer went everywhere but where I wanted it to go, and I ended up with 1 or 2 runs in the primer, which doesn't make me too happy. I don't like that, and I try to fix it, then it just makes it worse. So I will put on another coat. Like I said, this is temporary, just to get me by winter. I want to lay some paint, do the body work, lay some primer and lay some paint on this. I have a couple ideas for the color, but that's like next year's project. So right now, like I said, I want to get this done so it's not going to rust anymore, and I can get that seal back in around the windshield, and it'll be, we'll call it good for winter. I may, as a leaf falls on my primer, I may lay just some paint, like maybe some black paint, just to get it, to help protect it even more. We'll see how far I get with this, and if I have another nice day. I'm debating if I'm going to sand it. I mean, you really should lay it and sand it, but at least wet sand it. But like I said, I'm trying to do this quick. It's not doing it right. It bothers me that I'm not doing it right, but like I said, it's something I wanted to do over the summer, but with everything going on, I didn't have that opportunity, so now I'm scrambling to get it done. So yeah, I'll lay that next coat and see what we get, and then might call it done. Alright, so I got a couple layers of primer on. It's a couple different kinds of primer, because apparently nobody has primer in stock, which is kind of amazing to me. I've gone to 3 auto parts stores and none of them had primer. So, well, at least none of them had the primer that I was using, and they may have had 3 cans of primer on the shelf if I was lucky at them. So I just grabbed one last can just to get a final coat on this. So what I'm gonna do, because I'm running out of daylight and it's just so windy, I want to wet sand this before I throw down some paint. So tomorrow is supposed to be like in the 40s, and then it's supposed to be in the 40s the rest of the week. But next weekend, it's supposed to be in the 60s again, about like this weekend. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take off all the paper, leave my outline of tape where I can, and then next weekend do the wet sand on it, and then put down, I don't know whether I'd do another layer of primer and then paint, or just wet sand it and just paint it, just to get it painted for winter. I went with a matte black for the top. So we'll see what happens, what that kind of looks like. I guess it really won't tell much difference because it's only the pillars and the top, and then in the back I just taped off right at that body line. So yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll put the new seal in it back into the around the windshield. And then I will see about doing the moon visor, and then I can put my headliner and stuff back in. In the meantime, since even though it's going to be a little cold, I'll start working on this. Hopefully I'll get the new parts, new to me parts, in this week. So then that way I can do an unboxing of them, and I can also figure out what I need from there. So more to come, but that's where we're at with the priming of the top. At least it's not going to rust anymore. There was a pretty good rust spot right about there. Sanded that down pretty good and put quite a bit of primer right there. So hopefully that prevents that. So, all right, until the next video. I know I have multiple projects going on right now, but I'm kind of doing what I can, weather permitting wise and that. So until next time.